I have a serious message for you today, one that I'm delivering urgently because we need, I believe, presidential leadership to solve this over the next 72 hours, just the next 3 days. I'm delivering the message and the plea of two different, highly informed hospital leaders representing hundreds, literally hundreds of hospitals across America, each from different parts of the country, but each with the very same message. Thus, we need to listen. The first I'm going to quote from is an email from the chief medical officer of a huge medical center and hospital. And this is out in the West, not on the West Coast, but out West. And she has extensive experience with SARS and Ebola. And I'm going to read it exactly as I got it. Every morning, my hospital chief medical officer colleagues from 7 other health systems have a coordinating call. We're all experiencing the same issues. We have patients in our hospitals awaiting a test result to determine if they are COVID positive. We are waiting days, and in parentheses, she puts up to 5 days for these test results. We're wasting personal protective equipment. That's PPE, and just as an aside, that's protective mask and the face shields and the gowns and the gloves. Because we have to treat all of these patients as though they are COVID-19 positive, when in fact, many may not be. She continues, and I'm reading exactly. We have patients who could be discharged to nursing homes and other needed hospital facilities, but we cannot discharge them. And nursing homes will not take them until we get a negative test result. Although we have postponed elective surgeries, our hospitals today are too full for what is coming. We need to move patients out of our hospitals if we possibly can. And I quote, the delay and inability to get test results is creating a crisis within our workforce. She writes, in addition, we need to prioritize testing. Although it would be ideal to test everyone who might have symptoms, testing everyone without priority is literally harming healthcare and healthcare workers. We are no longer in a containment phase. This is mitigation. Patients with mild symptoms, she writes, are not at the same risk as healthcare workers and patients in contact with healthcare workers. And since test results today are taking days to get back, our healthcare workers need to be at the front of the line for testing in order to make sure that they can treat other patients. She continues, we're burning through the personal protective equipment, and remember that's the mask and gowns and suits. While we are waiting for test results, we're told the state stockpile is now depleted and awaiting news on what is available to us via the national stockpile. Commercial testing sites and the state testing sites are overrun. And now, even if we had more test platforms, we cannot get the reagents for the test. Some are depleted of the swabs to collect specimens. Again, she continues in the email, we need the U.S. to allow us to use approved tests from overseas to increase our testing capacity immediately. Additionally, we are running low on masks and personal protective suits. Our staffs are exhausted and should not need to worry that we cannot protect them or that they have to reuse equipment. We are on the exponential phase of this outbreak, she writes. This is not right and certainly not fair to our frontline workers. She continues, we need to fire up production of our own personal protection equipment in mass supply in the United States immediately. At some point, our health and hospital workers won't be able to come to work anymore because we don't have a means to protect them. We have now about a 14-day supply without future replenishment. Other hospitals are quoting just a 3-day supply. Now, that's the end of her email, and it's clear to me that this is a clear-cut plea from the front lines for help and a plea for national leadership that begins at the top with the president. Today, not tomorrow. Now, is she overstating this crisis, or am I by repeating it? No, just to confirm, a few hours ago, I asked the CEO of one of the largest hospital systems in America that has hospitals spanning 30 states across our country. I asked him to read this email to see if he was seeing the same thing, and his response was unequivocally yes. He says, all true, unfortunately, the message is our hospitals and our physicians are answering the call to duty, but they need help on both of the following fronts. One, prioritized and faster test results for inpatients and healthcare workers. And two, quick and mass production of masks and other protective equipment. In my personal view, we do need the President of the United States to make these an immediate priority today. It requires leadership at the very top.